we're gonna try vlogging today despite the wind. Hell with it. First off, a cute part of the video. Let's cut to the cat jumping up on the rafter. Conqueror of rafters. She's been up there 15 times. The very first time she did it, she bonked her head. Hadn't done it again since, so she's learned. Very smart cats we have. It's hard to describe. We have two kittens. The black one's name is Winter, and the white and yellowish one is, or orangish one, his name is Summer. And let me tell you that the Winter is solid muscle. That cat is, you pick him up and it's like beef, you know, it's picking up a side of beef, that cat is. The other one, Summer, she's a little waif. You pick her up and there's like, you're worried she's gonna float away. But she is very graceful, a bit stringy, and let me tell you, either one of them will take you out. I mean, they've got, I know they have claws and teeth, but it's funny, the instigator, more often than not, is the little light one. She'll pounce the big one, and let's go rolling. And the other two cats we have are older cats, and one's 11 and one's like 6, and you can tell they just get fed up with it real quick. The one who was feral for a little while, my wife keeps saying, she wasn't feral, she was feral-ish. It's one of those in-between feral things. We think she may have had a litter of kittens, actually, before they grabbed her and put her in the program to get a home. But she doesn't put up with it. You know, she'll hiss, and she's out for blood. When once she's had enough, she don't put up with it. The other fuzzball we have, the 11-year-old, he's Merlin. He never really grew up. He's always been a kitten in his mind. But he's getting old now. He's starting to show signs of arthritis, I think. But I think he's got a few good years left in him. Well, that's enough about cats. Well, I'm learning something about this phone. If you don't log into it, it seems to only let you shoot 2 video clips. And then you have to log into the phone. So, I mean, I use that feature all the time where you log into the phone, where you don't log into the phone and you shoot a video clip. I use that for vlogs all the time. I hadn't noticed that till now. Till today, I'm trying to cut in between clips so that I can separate things out in the editing. But I mean, man, phones are weird. The updates have just gotten ridiculous. Every time something updates on any of our phones, we all have different brand phones, or kind of different brand phones, and every time something updates, something else breaks. I mean, they're just not testing like they used to. One problem we're really having, I have a Samsung Galaxy S7, I think this is, and my wife Natalie has a Moto something or other. But when her and I call each other with a regular calling app on our phones, the default calling app, she can hear me, but I can't hear her. I'm convinced it has to do with HD calling, that sort of thing. But we're screwed. You know, we try to go to the store, and it works in the store, of course. Of course, it works in the store every time. Still doesn't work anywhere else, though. So we've resorted to using Facebook to call each other. Now, there's a problem with that. Every time I want to talk to her, every time she wants to talk to me, she's in the car. The problem with that is, if I call her, it doesn't properly ring. So it doesn't come up like a normal phone call. You can't just say answer. You've got to like go in and flux with it to get it to pick up and start the phone call. It sounds great once you get going. But, so that's not quite up to snuff and not really acceptable because of, it's just not, okay? She's already found some other people that she's tried to talk to on her phone, but she tries to call a few other people. So it's not just this phone. It's other phones as well, where she can hear them, but they can't hear her. So sometimes she'll actually have the kid call me. Our daughter has a Samsung phone, but I don't think it's really Samsung. I think it's just one of those deals where they put their name on another phone because it's this gargantua phone. It's a phablet, as they say, and it works pretty well. It was under $200. When we went to buy phones, we had to buy her a phone because hers died, and she was on a leftover phone. And it was a real mess because we need her to have a phone because she's all over the place with scheduled rides and all this kind of stuff. And Natalie needs her to be able to make a phone call and that sort of thing. get her out of soccer, get her out of whatever. In case our signals get crossed, we can make up for it by having a phone. But she seems to like that phone with a big screen. And to be honest with you, I looked at the stats. The screen on that thing is not very high resolution, but it's big. It's just a monstrous thing. So, whatever. She likes it. It works for her. She can do WhatsApp and all that kind of stuff, and all of her friends. I've got WhatsApp installed because I really did think that people were going to use it. That and Snapchat. And I've posted like 3 things to Snapchat. I don't know why. Nobody else has my Snapchat address. There's 100 apps that all do the same thing. They all basically chat, and you can send information back and forth in the same ways. And honestly, now that Facebook does video chat and phone calls and all this kind of crap, everybody's already on Facebook, so it becomes the default because everybody's already on it. That's the only good thing about Facebook. Everybody has it. Well, pretty much everybody, not everybody. I know a couple of people who refuse to Facebook, and I think they have legitimate gripes, but I wonder how much of it is just plain contrarian, that they just don't want to fit in, kind of thing. But I mean, it's just a nightmare sometimes trying to communicate with them. Most people, I just use text messaging. I've got one friend who I installed WhatsApp for, and then we didn't end up using WhatsApp. We ended up using Facebook Messenger, which is fine. But they can't their text messages are screwed up, so they couldn't take text messages. So we ended up using Facebook Messenger, and then Snapchat was the same way. I thought it was more like a Instagram when I installed it. It turns out, no, it's not really like Instagram at all. Now Instagram has copied its features. A lot of people are like, well, why use Snapchat? Instagram is the same thing. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's only because they deliberately stole the features. They deliberately copied the features. And I heard a guy say, old people find out it's not something they can look at pictures of their kids on, so they uninstall it. And he's right. He's very right. You find out it doesn't let you really post pictures in the normal way. It has a different audience. There's not a web interface for it. It's just mobile only. And it's like, well, it's for a different audience. So I still have it on here. And I do have a couple of friends who put stories up. And I look at their stories every 3 months or so. But it's not an everyday thing. Honestly, it and WhatsApp are on the to be removed as soon as I need free space list. They're right at the top, so they're the first things to go. I mean, I'll keep the once every other year QR reader. I have a QR reader on here. That's all it does. It reads QR quick reference codes, and I use it about every other year. And I'll keep that before I keep WhatsApp and Snapchat on my phone for space. Because I used to use Google Goggles, but those, I don't know, man, they just dumped Google Goggles. I think you can still actually install it, but it doesn't do anything anymore. It's like broken badly. What I found is there's some translation apps that are really nice. They'll actually superimpose your language over top of a sign that has some other language on it, which is nice. And I'm trying to figure out which one of those is worth a shit. Some manufacturers are building that into their phone, which is nice. It's augmented reality kind of thing. I'm waiting for the True Translator, just live keep the bud in your ear and you say stuff and they say stuff and it just translates. You don't have to think about it. I'm waiting for those to get good. One day we will have the universal translator, at least Earth translator. It'll have made-up languages in it. I mean, we can talk in Klingon. Finally. So I am trying to lose weight. No, I'm not going to get on a rant about losing weight. And you know, for many years, I've been a big advocate of eating anything free that showed up at work. So today, Natalie hands me this bag of suckers, little almost said plastic suckers. They're just plastic handle suckers that, you know, you buy them by the bulk. You buy 100 at a time at the dollar store. You take them in. They're orange flavored suckers. She was going to take them to a party and it didn't work out. Blah blah blah. So I bring them into work. I throw them on the counter for the vultures to, you know, they're engineers, man, and free food is free food. So I dump them all out on a little counter where we have our free food. And they would have probably been gone before lunch, which is where I'm at now, except somebody made cookies. He made cookies and they're awesome. The guy knows how to cook. Brings in cookies, I grab 2 because I'm a greedy bastard. So one of the guys is stuck upstairs, 9th floor. He's in a big meeting. Oh man, because we're talking about the chat rooms, right? We're on the chat rooms. We're on Slack. Get in there and say, okay, cookies in the room, cookies in the lunchroom, and they start complaining up there. Oh man, we're stuck up at this big meeting. So the first guy that complained, I went and grabbed 2 of the cookies and went and put them on his desk so he wouldn't miss out. Because I figured them cookies were gone, Jack. And then more people complain up there. They end up taking the whole batch of cookies up there. They end up taking what's left of the batch of cookies up there. I'm going to correct myself because I mean there was a crowd around these cookies, and they were gone. I mean, just like poof. Because let me tell you, bringing cookies to a meeting, like, you know, the big wig meetings, it's like throwing meat to piranha. Gone. So I've always had this joke. You know, if you ever wanted to wipe out an entire office full of people, poison brownies and leave them on the counter in the break room, you get them all. People would walk around the corner. Oh my God! Look at this big pile of ooh, brownies.